But many people don't understand what is Shishya. Shishya word comes from Shasan. So there is Shasan and then is Shishya. So Shishya is someone who accepts someone's Shasan. Some person who will rule him completely. That is called Shishya. So when Arjun says Shishyasteham Shadimam, he's surrendering. That is surrender. You can rule me. ये होता है शिष्य का मन. ये अंडरस्टैंडिंग इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये अंदर तक घुसना चाहिए. Then you will become the right disciple. Then you will take the right shelter. Then you'll start understanding and doing your actual steps in spirituality. That this is what it means. So that is our, our own endeavor. Nobody. कोई आगे बोले हाँ ठीक है, सब लोग आ गए मंदिर में, अभी गुरुजी आएंगे और आप सब उनके शिष्य बन जाओ. This is called. Will you, if you go and do this based on the group, is this called surrender? You tell me.
No. This is just for the namesake we are doing it, but not from the bottom
Now,
of our heart.
in that group, if someone has actually from his heart surrendered and surrendered his life, बोला अभी जो बोलोगे आप मैं वो करूँगा, that would be, that real शिष्य.
Eklavya.
That's debatable, but yeah.
Arjun.
Yes, Kalpesh. Yeah, Arjun is surrendering.
But Prabhuji, that's not good for Guruji, because if Shishya listens everything about to whatever Guruji is saying, Guruji could be wrong.
Take advantage.
So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that's why the first thing is Krishna gives you Guru. So you should hear from the scriptures first. Hear from Krishna first. So at the end, when you read Bhagavad Gita, Krishna will explain that, hey Arjun, I've explained you all this Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters. Now be careful in doing the right thing. How do you be careful? What is the meaning of careful? जिधर careful बोला ना, उधर बुद्धि आ जाती है. अभी बुद्धि is a very variable component. वो जितना इस्तेमाल करो उतना कम है. डॉल्फिन भी खाली 10% यूज करता है. हम लोग तो उससे भी कम. So it's a variable. You have to use your buddhi. So you can use your buddhi as much as you want. Ask questions. Be analytical. So this is the job of a disciple. To understand what is in the Shastra first. Because Krishna will give you Guru. And Guru will give you Krishna. So if you choose the right mode, the right way, voluntarily, by intelligence, then you will not repent, then you will not lament. Does it answer your question, Kalpesh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Prabhuji, but sorry, but because I have seen some experiences, in past 2.5 years or so, since I started, this something, and
yes,
I've experienced that people change, so Guru can also change, right? And
see,
when I say Guru can also start doing some mistakes. He might be really good now, but maybe in a couple of years' time, he might lose his path as well.
Yeah. So when the Guru falls down, from his level, this is what you're saying? So you are being, in the Shastra it is explained, there are ways to change the Guru. So there is a pastime from Shukracharya. Shukracharya was also a Guru. And at some point, some of his disciples, they said, no, we do not accept you as a guru anymore because of these reasons. And that was okay. But that happens very rare. If someone has chosen the guru after reading, hearing, and using his intelligence very carefully, the chances are very less. And if it happens, then it's just you're unlucky. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It does happen, but it's very rare. But there is a provision to change the guru or to, give up your discipleship. Any other question or comments? So, a dhira purush, a sober person, will never be bewildered by this change. So, a sober person, who's a sober person? The one person who is not in this. So, he's saying that you are with me, standing with me. What is Krishna saying? Arjun, you're standing with me. I'm right in front of you. Why are you still thinking so much like an ignorant person? Yes, Kalpesh.
So as you said earlier, Prabhuji, lamentation is like you're always in a grief, I would say,
Yeah.
right? But then grief is like you're not into lamentation. So what is the time duration of a grief? Have they mentioned that this is a time duration you can grieve?
See, you will know whether you are lamenting or you are grieving. So if you are grieving, you will grieve. Someone has died. Week, 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. But if it goes for 5 years, 6 years, I'm just giving a random example. And it comes up in every single discussion, every single thought of yours after 5 years. That means something is wrong, right?
Hmm.
So that is what Krishna is asking. Should not lament. Here Arjun is thinking about, if I kill how will I live forever? How will I enjoy the kingdom? He's thinking about all the things, without actually doing his duty. So that is lamentation. He has fought in the past. He has been a warrior. He's anticipating so much, which is not right. Yeah. Saying something else, Kalpesh?
No.
So sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So what he's saying is that if Drona dies, if Bhishma dies, I know they're your relatives, but they will get a fresh new body. You don't know the process. If you don't know that process, then you are not a Dhira Purusha. You are not
Super.
sober. A sober person understands. He is in his senses. He understands everything. He's in knowledge. So Krishna will continue in the next verse, which we will discuss next week. Any questions or comments on this verse or anything else related to this?
I have a question. I
Yes.
was I was trying to explain to a friend who is not Indian or Hindu
Hmm.
about Bhagavad Gita,
Hmm.
and I told him that this is what Lord Krishna tells Arjuna on a battleground where Arjuna is a warrior who is about to fight his relatives.
Hmm.
So my friend asked a very valid question, which is, how relevant are Krishna's teachings in today's times when we are not on a battleground or we are not warriors?
So life's teachings may not be just, in a room or in a, what do you call, what is that room which the psychiatrists use? Therapy room.
Couch therapy.
So the teachings or the discussions not necessarily be at such places where there is silence, when there is calmness, and there is all sorts of things, when we are disturbed, we not sometimes not necessarily we get a very peaceful environment where someone comes and helps us. What complicated or what tough situation can be in the middle of two armies fighting a battle? This is one of the toughest situation which I can
Situations to
think
be
of.
in, yes.
And that too, when you know that the fighters on both ends are your relatives. And you have to defend your relatives, of course. I mean, you have to fight with your relatives. And for not just fight, you have to win by killing them. And this killing is not just normal mere killing of 100, 200 people. You're talking about billions of people here. And in those times, when the war used to happen, the war will not be won until even one soldier of the other army is alive. Everyone has to be dead. Then you are the winner. Unless that the other party soldier runs away and he says, I don't want to fight, or few soldiers run away, you have to literally kill everyone. That is fighting. So that kind of fight, if someone is asked to do with his own relatives, you can imagine the kind of turmoil goes on his, going in his mind. So life's lessons are, so someone who's, it is said that if you want to see the real character of someone, put him in a difficult situation. Otherwise, you might not know what he really is. So,
Prabhuji, if you ask me,
yeah,
I would say life is a battle. We are still in the battleground and we are a warrior.
very nice, very nice. So the real character comes out in the most toughest situations, that you really, and you try to identify yourself. That's a time when there is
Mm.
self-reflection, as we call it, a lot of tough things happening in your life, literally, which comes onto your life, life and death kind of situation. That's a time you reflect a lot on yourself. And that's what Arjun is doing. But the good part is that he has a very good mentor. That is like a blessing, you know. Sometimes people don't have that and they fall to the circumstances.
Mm.
But Arjun has a very good mentor. And by putting Arjun in that situation, Krishna is sending the message to the whole world. So if that message is understood, we may not have to fight a war like what Arjun did.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
whatever little wars we are fighting, not that grand war, it will help us, take the right decisions. The time of critical and complex situations.
When we are put in difficult situations,
Absolutely.
how we behave and how our character is
Yeah.
shown.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. How
so.
do we deal with that? How do we come as a winner? What we should do when we don't know what to do? All those kind of things. You know,
That's
when we
where
are
Lord Krishna's teachings can be applied.
when we are perplexed, because this world is full of perplexity. Now, even if you see today's times, now who had thought that this war between certain countries will break out just after COVID? Suddenly, nobody will think like that. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Suddenly, something comes up, and so there's a lot of perplexity happening in this world, which is as good as a little war which we face pretty much every day. It's a struggle. It's a tough thing. So how do we deal with that? By keeping ourselves at peace and dealing with the situation and coming out as a winner. That is what is Bhagavad Gita.
Thank
Did
you.
I answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
No problem. Any other question? Kalpesh, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, like like your intelligence, your mind, your soul, and so many other components. Like they they have these effects caused by these five senses. So while Arjun was in the battlefield, when he saw his kins, his relatives, and right in front of him, he was he went into a semi coma, like a depression, and he forgot his skills. His skills. He's a skilled fighter. He's well known for that. And as Prabhuji said, he has been doing it for years and years. And even a person like him who is so skilled lost his way. During the big moments. So we as a human beings, we have to learn a lesson from him, saying, okay, if he can lose, we can lose too. And it's what you do after failure is who you are. And that probably is still valid today. It was valid in the battlefield as well. He submitted to Krishna. He got all the teachings from him. So in this instance, you have your own choices. Gurus or Google or whatever you call it these days. And also one more thing, Prabhuji, how you were saying about to find out the real character. From my personal experience, if he's your best friend, or if he's telling that he's your best friend, he's his best friend to you, whatever he's getting from you, switch that tap off for a few days and see what happens.
That is understanding people. Yeah, that is when you try to understand people, you juggle a lot of things
Yeah.
just to make sure that you are in the right association. But to know your own self, this is more about self realization.
Yeah.
This Bhagavad Gita is more about self. So if you see chapters 1 to 6, it's all about your own self. So when we read about 1 to 6, it will be me, I, soul, my karma. Everything will be on that. The focus will be on that. So once you read chapter 6, then it will be a different thing altogether. Then we will go into the next phase. So the first 6 chapters, 18 chapters. So first 6 chapters are I, me. 7 to next to the 6th chapter, 7 to 13 are the chapters who's Krishna, who's the supreme. And then the rest of the chapter, 6 chapters, what is the escape plan from Maya? How to transcend. So this is a full package of understanding yourself, understanding the supreme, and then how to come out of this illusion, how to come out of this Maya. So once you have this kind of knowledge, Bhagavad Gita knowledge, I think you're fully equipped to actually go and fight.
Whatever the battles are,
Whatever the battles
today's
are.
battles.
Yeah. Your
Sometimes
own
you have to
self.
battle yourself, the inner
Absolutely.
demons.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was having, I think, I don't know if it was you, Vishaka, when we came to your place for that
For dinner. Dabeli.
Dabeli, yes. So I think I was discussing about this illusion thing at that time with you guys, or with maybe some other people, that like few years back, say, if something really bad has someone has done really bad to you, and so today, after 5-10 years, you might have, at that time it might be very relevant to you, but today, this time, it's not relevant to you at all. So basically, you were an illusion at that time. And now today you're out of that illusion. So if something happens, just take it.
Yep, makes sense. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any comments? Chitej, Rishi, Aradhana Mataji, Sushma.
Aradhana Mataji is really quiet today. She's tired from taking last night.
No, Prabhu. Basically, I had throat infection. So I took Panadol and slept through. So I woke up at 4 and joined the class. So I'm listening, Prabhu. The voice is not great to reciprocate. But thank you, Prabhu. And thank you for the lovely class. Thank you.
Thank you for
Hare
joining us,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hari Bol.
I'll
And
share
thank,
I'll share
thank
some
you.
photos from our trekking yesterday.
What, Prabhu?
I'm going to share some our photos from trekking yesterday.
Yes,
And
please.
Prabhu, thank you for organizing it. It was really wonderful trip.
It was actually for Anil Prabhu, but he could not make it to Sydney at the last moment.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
could
we
not.
missed your association, Prabhu.
Uh,
Yes.
Everyone in my family has COVID except me.